All right. As soon as I pop the Spartan Raid. I'm in spawn. Why you do so much? Are you gonna give me a chance to use my freaking stuff? Alright, let me log. And after that, I just get clawed as soon as I'm about to dodge. Okay. Can I get into some space, please? Jaime! Yo, no cap, what's up? W game, it is a W game. I like this game. Why is this dude? I'm using everything right now. Keep him in the tornado. Keep him in the tornado. Keep him in the tornado. Bro. And why did I attack?
Left side.
I'm dead if I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm nope. 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 Please do not let me. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. Wait, Chris Brown has a concert? Wait, wait. Ooh. Wait, where? Oh gosh. Nope.
On your left.
Why did I climb back up? No. I'm lost.
Incoming! Right side!
Ooh!
Nista!
Ooh.
Those things are everywhere.
Mission 1 area W. Yo, Jay, what's good? Venom 3 trailer was great. The Venom 3 trailer, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. I like that trailer. It was pretty good. I'm just hoping that, I'm not gonna lie, with Carnage, I just felt like it should have been rated R. That's the only problem with Carnage. I just felt like it should have been rated R. Because, the concept art that Evan posted,
Is there another one somewhere?
yeah, it seems like that was supposed to be rated R. We got concept art of King Carnage. At least apparently Carnage is supposed to be a, I think it was supposed to be King Carnage.
Yeah. The wheels moving and the gates coming down.
That's dwarven ingenuity for you.
Back to the boat.
So it is PlayStation gonna be at Summer Game Fest the same day that it takes place, so Friday.
If the dwarves of this realm are anything like Rock and Sindri,
PlayStation is gonna be there.
Imagine them siding with Odin.
Well, all too often people are blinded to all but their immediate self-interest. Odin offered them safety, and defying him can be...
And after that, I don't know when we're gonna have
Maybe they
Gamescom.
just need a couple of gods to come along and take the
I'm waiting for the
fight to 'em.
showcase. I'm waiting for that showcase too. Here's the only thing though about that
Someone
showcase.
joking.
War is not a joke.
I am hoping and praying. I'm gonna hope, and I am at this point. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I hope that we don't see Wolverine, because like I'm hoping, or at least that we see at least something for Wolverine or something. But I really don't want to, seeing is that I
Just,
saw
I'm
some
trying
of
to
the
keep our options
stuff,
open.
and yeah, let's just say that
While we're out here, exploring a new realm.
the stuff that I have
Maybe
seen,
we
or at
could
least the
just
stuff
try
that
to
I
enjoy the
saw,
warmth. Looks like we gotta find a way to open that gate if we want to get to Nidavellir.
it looks like it's gonna be really good. But I can't really tell you what I thought.
You did it. Let's see what
Because
it
the stuff that I saw up in, the stuff that I saw is, wow.
Father, there.
Yeah, that's right. The stuff that I saw is. For Wolverine, though, I'll be honest. At least this is what I think. And I know that I shouldn't be saying this, but at least add X-23. Like, come on. At least add X-23 to the game. Yeah, they're gonna be there.
This is a fighting mess.
They're confirmed to be there. Which I honestly think that's when we're gonna get our first look at that DLC. Because not gonna lie, we need DLC. I want to see what they're gonna do.
Brother, that groom's found a perch on high.
We need that DLC. I want the DLC. And I'm hoping that I'm right about my theory. They're gonna be there Friday, is what you're saying? Yeah, they're gonna be there Friday. They're gonna be there Friday. But we don't know like what company is gonna be there. Like we don't know like what studio is gonna be there though. I'm gonna say it's 50-50, but like if Insomniac is there, because like I don't think that this is like a coincidence, right? Because they were there last year to show the Venom concept art, so we might get something.
Oh, I think I get it. If you freeze the geyser, the pressure will turn the wheel.
We might get something. Got a lot of reasons why DLC wouldn't work. I mean, the reasons, okay, so the reasons why I can see the only reason why a lot of people don't want the DLC to work is because of the leak.
Block's coming down.
But I want to see something new, and the people would honestly try their best to complain it. They'll try their best to complain it about, like, or at least try to say the DLC can't work. Mainly because they want Peter to fight all the villains, like, all the DLC stuff and stuff like that. I would rather prefer to have, like, Miles fight Carnage, like I want to see Miles fight Carnage, because, like, it would just be way more interesting.
There's still the other changeable. How are we gonna get to it?
What are the other reasons? One of the reasons the others are different? Yeah. I can see why people
Try
don't want.
hitting the rope holding the block.
Oh. I know. Wait, hold up. Can you? Well, what? Well, it depends. Tell me your
Try
reason.
hitting the rope holding the block.
Oh, it's that. Okay, let's go ahead and just.
Maybe you could try hitting the rope holding the block.
Nice one.
You know what I'm saying? That. Anyway, I'm saying like, would all the DLCs work for Miles only? I don't really know. I feel like
Can you see anything from that block?
that is a good question. I really don't know. The only one that I know that could work, the only one that I know that could possibly, well, the only one that is 100% sure that I think could work would be Carnage. The Beetle one, I don't know how that would work. That's the only one that I don't know how it would work. And then the Carnage one, well,
Lad, if I may, what
Venom's connected to the well. We saw Miles get stuck in the hive mind, so like Carnage would know.
Well, like I said, I was hoping he could tell me something about Loki.
And I think that's
I'd
the only
also
one that I
like to
could
hear
see
some of the
working.
stories. Traveling to other lands, giant stuff.
The only way I could see the Beetle one
maybe
working,
about what it was like to fight back in the
even
day.
though I really refuse to, even
Just
though
for
like
the
I
history,
somewhat,
obviously.
well, after seeing the debug menu, I know who
Let's
Beetle
hope
is.
Tyr's in a talkative mood after being imprisoned.
I was hoping that it was gonna be Kraven's daughter,
All of Odin's
but
kingdoms can
turns
be
out that
as
it's not Kraven's
charmingly
daughter.
voluble as myself.
We have no proof Tyr is truly here.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The DLCs in the game wouldn't work.
earthquake earlier.
Won't work. Also, Peter's on break.
Think there will be another
That
one?
is very true.
It's unlikely.
The only one that I could
Geological
see
disturbances
Peter
tend
doing
to
would
be
would
unpredictable.
be the first one,
If the
and
geysers
then goes
and
on break.
smell here are worse because of Fimbulwinter, maybe the earthquakes are too?
Aye, you might be onto something, lad.
But I do feel like though, like the only way I could see that, well, yeah, that's the only one.
Wow. Now this looks like a city.
Welcome to.
Wait a minute, hold on a minute. Beetle, well, I can't really say anything about Beetle, but you know, it's a certain someone's daughter. Peter fought Tombstone. It could work because that would be a pretty cool parallel between Beetle and Miles. It could work.
Your brothers.
Hey, dwarves!
It would be a pretty cool parallel.
They're running away.
Actually, hold on a minute. Does hold up? Actually, that's a good question. Hold on. Does he have
An
his own
arm
version
like
of
that
the
if I still had my body.
That question
I was
caught me off
fearing the
guard.
notion of being detached from it.
Wild that for us, though.
They are scared.
Oh yeah, it can definitely work. Yeah, the DLCs could work with, yeah, the DLCs can 100% work with just Miles. Yeah. If they're doing the Ultimate Comics, they have to do the... Yeah, it's possible it can. Racist fans? Cough cough, racist fans? Oh yeah, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people talking about it because they wanna... Because those fans... Here's the thing, those fans are more than likely just Peter fans. And don't like the idea of the whole entire... And don't like the idea of Miles being popular than Peter.
Stay alert.
Like I said before, I like both Miles and Peter. I like them both. Which majority of the fans do. Well, at least a certain amount of fans like them both.
Hey, could we talk to you for...
We don't want any trouble, please.
There'll be no help, to be sure. Best we find the tavern Sindri mentioned on our own, and hope they let us in.
Is that a statue?
Hence
of
the reason
Odin?
why, like, I'm like,
must
I don't know
really
how it
love
work.
him.
If they're gonna say that nothing's comic accurate or like nothing
Sindri,
or like they have an issue
hello.
with it,
I'd return your surprise.
they're
but I
still
didn't
gonna
know
play the
you-
DLC. That's
I
the only
got
problem.
something for you.
I knew he'd left something behind.
No, he is the Beetle DLC. That would leave us open for like one
What
DLC,
is
and that
it,
wouldn't make
dwarf?
sense. I
Well,
just
I'm
can't
glad I
wait
came
to
back
see
here at least once before Ragnarok.
I can't wait to see Carnage though.
Oh, if these cobblestones could talk.
I don't think they would actually like change their plans or scrape the
Then
story.
they have mouths. Filthy, disgusting mouths. Do you mind if I fiddle with your bow?
Like, if anything, that would just
Well,
at least
a
this is
long
what I
overdue
think. That would
for a
hold
replacement.
back, and that would be considered that character being stalled.
Taking advantage of certain materials. Ow. structural sensitivity.
Yo,
to
Drew, what
sonic
is up? How you
vibrations
been?
has been something
Working on a story for
I've been
DLC.
meaning to try for
Nice.
quite some time now.
Thanks for finally trying it. What's it gonna be this time?
Patience. I find it's best to see these things.
And on top of that, no one was actually saying. And on top of that, actually, I even thought about this for Beyond the Spider-Verse. I just thought about this for a second. I just thought about this like for a second, chat. I just made up a theory last night whenever I was shout out to Icy. I was watching history whenever I made this idea up.
But before you lose,
So you guys know how the Peter on Miles's Earth died, right? What are the odds that he comes back? Because in the ultimate comics, Peter came back. Well, Miles is Peter. The Peter on Miles' Earth came back. He came back.
well, I certainly didn't expect you to disturb half the creepy crawlies in need of Valir.
How was I supposed to know they were there?
Come on, Kratos, off your back.
I literally turned for 5 seconds. I'm just saying, think about that for a second. That could work. Because you would have Peter coming. Because you would have Ultimate Peter. You would have that version of Peter come back. You'd have like that version of Peter who like you could have that version come back and he can be like, and that version of Peter's gonna be like, hold on a minute, what happened? He's like, and after that, Miles is gonna be like, oh hey, I haven't seen since the first movie. He's like, oh, I haven't seen since the first movie. He's gonna be like, wait, hold on, who are you? He's gonna be like, oh yeah, you remember the guy that blew, oh yeah, you remember the guy that you offered to teach from the particle accelerator?
So, Sterling. Sindri, any idea where the tavern is?
Do I look like I've ever been to a filthy tavern?
How long until we're done? How long until we're operational? And the guy says 2 days, sir. Says 2 days, and yeah, and he says
It's not like you're able to open
the people have no food, no sleep. Ooh. Think about that for a second. That's like, think about that for a second.
Lockdown really is because of us?
Oh my.
Cooking with
yes.
it.
Odin's grip on this realm is so firm, any outsider is considered a threat.
But chat, like, think about that for a second though.
If I ever have.
Like, do you know how insane that would be? And like, just imagine like how insane that would be. Like, I was gonna be looking up, huh?
Outsider is considered a threat.
And yes, I'm not gonna lie.
To protect
I
the
have
dwarf?
seen some of the pictures for Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Odin, sure to be an ulterior motive.
Do not even get me started on how Spot. I can't even show you the picture, but
Odin's
bro, there is a
occupation of this
ginormous
realm has its
spot.
hooks in deep.
But there aren't any guards for Sterling. They're clearly not a threat. Why hide?
Ah, this is a fine man.
There's a ginormous spot, and let's just say that a lot of Spider people, as soon as a spot comes, are knocked out, or either dead or knocked out.
Well,
That's how
hiding on this side,
brutal
too.
Spot is.
Odin's occupation of this realm has its hooks in deep.
but there aren't any guards for Sterling. They're clearly not a threat. Why hide? Oh wow. Sindri wasn't kidding about the structural sensitivity.
That's what I'll do in the end.
If you're not selling something, please kindly
They're not shoving it into games. If a character in the comics is like that, then I don't see the problem. Okay, people are still mad at Wolverine for that too, which I'm like, okay. But no one bats an eye when Mystique says it. No one bats an eye with Mystique though. That's the crazy thing. Are they not? They're not forcing it. there are some moments. Here's the thing: they're not forcing it. At least from people saying that, because like the people that are saying that are people that just want just as basic, not cool swords. For me, like I said, like with certain characters being, even though I know for a fact I'm trying my best not to get canceled. Did I start the video? Yep. Got you. I don't. Oh wait, wait. What video did I drop? I would say they're not, because like for The Last of Us, then yes, I'm going to bring up The Last of Us for some of this. But it was confirmed in the Left Behind DLC. Like, if you explain it like in a way that it makes sense, it was confirmed in Left Behind. And yes, Mystique is bisexual in the comics. Everyone's tired of being shoved in the games. Those are the people that call anything woke. It doesn't really bother me just as long as the game is good. That's the only reason why I like. That's the only reason why I like it. Doesn't. That's the reason why I'm like, okay, I just want to enjoy my game. I don't really care if the character's like that. If all honesty, I'm just there to actually just enjoy the character. People can try to do that though. Definitely characters vid. Ooh, wait, Cap, hold up. Now I could say like that mission from Spider-Man 2 over at Brooklyn Visions. That could have. I'm not gonna lie. That could have been better. I really can't defend that. But like for like certain things, like if it's important to like the lure of the character, I 100% can agree. Well, what if it's what if it's behind the lore of the character, then there's a difference in that. Like for Last of Us, people will say that Naughty Dog forced Ellie to be a lesbian when it's not the truth. When it's really not the truth, and obviously they didn't play the first game's DLC. That's the only reason why I would say that they're kind of wrong, because they act like the first game doesn't exist. So let me get this straight. They're forcing it into games like COD. Oh yeah, they are making a Black Ops 6, yeah. I wouldn't say they're forcing into games like COD. Call of Duty has, I'm not really sure they don't force into COD. I never noticed that they force into COD. There's something I can't really say because I'm trying my best not to get canceled. There's only some of the bundles. Well, I mean, like I said, I really stopped playing COD like right after Modern Warfare 3, so, or at least right after Modern Warfare. Are you kidding me? I can't really do anything about that? Oh, that's crazy. COD is a different type of game. They're not really gonna force it into COD. There aren't, well, from what I know, there aren't any COD characters that are. And besides, you gotta know that games are basically fiction. So pretty much whatever they do to the story isn't really that bad if you're trying to compare a game to reality. Which again, most of these people try to actually say that they're adding it to reality. Down to 9 out of 10, most of their points can actually be debunked in like 5 minutes. That's just why I wouldn't say like all of it's being forced. Other than that one mission in Brooklyn Visions that I feel like I'm not gonna say anything about that because like I'm not even gonna say anything about that because I'm like okay. Yeah, I already know it's the one. It's the one. I already know which mission you're talking about. I really can't defend that mission. I really can't defend that. But then again, though, I'm not really surprised because it's modern day New York. Hence the reason why I think have these people that literally say anything is woke. They don't. And yes, I'm gonna say yes. I know I really don't like to talk about it, but like they can try to say any game is woke. They called God of War woke. They tried to call Last of Us 2 woke. They tried to call Spider-Man 2 woke. And now they're calling Assassin's Creed Shadows woke because of historical accuracy. And I'm like, okay. So if y'all want historical accuracy, fun fact, you do know that and I can't believe this bringing up. You do know that the Apple of Eden is not real. They tried to call every single game, and I'm like, you tried to call every single game that dropped this year or like last year, whenever half of the stuff can, whenever it's like the exact same. It's like you can't really win and argue. It's like you can't really win that by saying that because it's like at the same time with them saying that it's like them saying that anything that they do is not accurate. I'm like, you do know that the Apple of Eden is not real. Like the Apple of Eden is not real. No more MJ missions in Marvel Spider-Man 3. I don't think they're gonna have any more MJ missions. Like my only solution for that, or at least what I think needs to happen, because even though a lot of people will probably not actually give me a resurrection.
What can I make for you? I am, as always, at your service.
But for no more MJ missions, the only way I could see to solve that would be to have MJ get pregnant, or at least have MJ get MJ pregnant, or at least have Peter. Since Peter's on break, I could see him and MJ having a baby, having Mayday. That's the only way I can see that happening. Have Peter have kids. That's the best way, because like a lot of people say, kill her all. I'm like, have MJ have a baby. It's the most easy solution. I want Peter to be happy. I don't want him to suffer. But sadly, we can have that. So. All right, anybody know where this house is? Oh, wait, did I go the wrong way? I'd rather have like that would be my solution to the MJ mission, which I feel like is a safer way. I feel like that's way safer. Because, like, in all honesty,
right? Well, it's like a house. If he's here, maybe you should let me do the talking.
You.
Well, we don't want to intimidate him. He's tall as a tree, and you have a severed head on your
it makes a lot more sense.
None taken.
Because, like, from a story standpoint, it's cool for him to have this.
I think that's him. Hello?
After that, you have Miles. After that, you have Miles and Peter teaching Mayday how to use her powers.
That's us, I think.
Well, if you're planning on killing me, at least let me finish.
And then Miles will be like, okay,
That
I got
alarm
you.
was
He's
just
happy.
Perfect.
Wait, he's like,
We're
okay.
just looking for
No,
a
he's
friend
gonna be
of
like, all
ours.
right, Pete, congratulations, Pete, you got a family, but you know.
Well, we both
And
know
Miles is
that's
gonna be
not
like,
true. Derlin's got no friends left.
I got you. I'll be
But if that's
I'll
all
be
you
the
need,
Spider-Man.
Head out the back way there, and you'll see the safety office just across the river.
He's gonna be like, I got you. I'll cover for you. I got you from that point on. And then boom.
And while you travel through this realm,
And after that, we get a post-credit with Silk.
What mess?
With the same way that Miles told Peter about his powers. And after that, we got ourselves a Silk game. Because Silk could be like, Rio told me that you were the type of guy to come to this for. And then after that, well, hold up. And after that, like, Miles just walks into his house. And Silk says, Rio told me to talk to you about this. And after that, or something like that. And after that, we just see Silk just climb on the wall. We see Silk just jump on the ceiling. And we're like, Rio told me that you were the guy to talk to about this. And Miles is going to be smiling after that. He just jumps on the ceiling. Can't wait to fight Carnage and Beetle. I'm more excited to fight Carnage. So yeah, that's fact. My problem with Insomniac is they changed Venom too much, which is why I'm scared of what they'll do next. I would have to disagree. They didn't change Venom too much. They made him more towards. They made his motivation just like Ares.
Why don't you ask the condescending skull?
Head. I've got skin. But he's right. I made a mistake. I'd have us shut them down.
Other thing too is that I'm working on a theory on what I think could happen in the third game.
Sorry,
Even though it's very risky, we might get something like from TASM 2.
Be sorry, and you should be thankful. Anyways, here.
Because like, let's say if in the third act or whatever, yes, I'm predicting the third act. I'm gonna let me cook the third act for a second.
It's also very useful.
Let's say after, let's say if Green Goblin does kill MJ, right? We get to the third act.
Then yes.
It is a compass.
And we see Miles, and let's say Miles, you know, pulls up to Peter's house, right? And Green Goblin's calling for both Spider-Man, like calling for both spiders, right? Peter would say, I don't want to, and Miles would be like, we have to go, man, we have to fight him. And Peter's gonna be like, no, I can't do this. I can't. He's gonna be like, he can't do it. Spider-Man 3 isn't even out yet. I know, I'm predicting it though. And then long story short, we get Miles, who literally has to say, with great power, and right as soon as Miles was about to say, with great power comes great responsibility, Peter cuts them off in the middle of it and says, don't say that. He's like, don't say that.
A boat cannot be far.
And after that, like we just see Miles going to fight Goblin, right? And you know, Peter's gonna be watching the news or something at the house, right? And and after that, something comes on to the radio, says the second Spider-Man, he's getting I don't think he's gonna be able to make it. I feel like it doesn't look like he's gonna make it, or something of the sort. And then we just see Peter come back like on some TASM 2 type stuff. And we get that whole entire scene the whole entire scene kind of in a way like mirroring TASM 2. And after that, Peter says, Miles, you gotta be the bravest dude. You gotta be the bravest dude that I've ever seen. And after that, like things that are doing Superior, we just see Goblin, and after that we see Goblin and Peter just looking at each other and be like, it's you. And after that, we just see Peter not hold back. I really don't think that, but like at the same time though, when Peter stops holding back, he can kill someone.
Those bloody mining rigs.
What about them?
The Skald is right to blame me for them.
I really do want some stuff from No Way Home too, because I feel like having Peter be mad like in the final fight, like him not holding back, like fully bloodlusted, like with like no great power comes with responsibility, I feel like he could snap. I'm sorry. I want some No Way Home stuff. I want to see Peter not holding back and potentially breaking his skill rules.
You can see the smokestacks from here.
I mean, when you really think about it,
But if you don't want to explore now,
Craven was low-key right.
through that open gate to the left.
Because, like, if you really think that Peter... Because, like, if you really think that, we all saw what happened in, the Craven fight. He was not holding back. Well, technically speaking, he almost did kill, so... He almost killed Craven with the black suit on, so, like, ooh, I feel like in this game, he's gonna have to at least come close to at least killing someone.
We could always explore those mining rigs later.
And I feel like, yeah, he would kill Goblin, or at least come close to killing him. And then... And yes, I flat out want to... Yes, I'm going to say this. Yes, I want to see Peter... I want to see Peter at least grab Goblin's glider and try to, like... You know that scene in No Way Home where, you know, where Tom almost killed Goblin with his glider? I want that. Or at least something close to that.
We're looking for Derlin?
You have an appointment?
Well, Norman takes Miles and betrays Pete. That would be fire.
No? Has anyone ever had an appointment here?
Yo, so I said, bro, the things I'm gonna do is that Wolverine bookie. I don't know. I want the Deadpool one though. The Deadpool one looks better.
Something, pal. Think parading a severed head around on your hip is gonna scare me into somehow approving estrogen secretion proposal, eh?
We are looking for a prisoner of Odin's.
He's being kept in a mine somewhere. Some friends of ours said that you could help.
Where did you get?
Then Pete says, what the hell? Yep.
You chop her head off with that too, eh?
How the fuck did that buggy get to market and Disney really allowed that? Well, Ryan Reynolds got that to work. They wanted it to be as they wanted it to be like that as possible.
After a little coup here failed.
There's a pause.
Failed?
Yeah, come on.
To see Deadpool 3. Oh, I'm seeing Deadpool 3. But I need to watch all the Wolverine movies and all the Deadpool movies again.
Is dead.
I need to know all the Wolverine movies. Mainly all the ones that are...
Rest of them
I really don't... Okay, question. I don't really know which Wolverine movies are connected. Because to me, I think that Last Stand and Days of Future Past are connected, but I could be wrong.
But he could have answers on how to stop Odin. And free Svartalfheim from the Aesir.
Now, I'm not in the business of crossing the old father anymore. Right, before you go.
But I do think that I need to rewatch all the Wolverine movies, all the Deadpool movies. By default, I already gotta watch all the X-Men movies. Logan was that as hell? Bro, I loved watching Logan.
Take this.
Logan was
A
hands
fine.
down one of the best Wolverine movies of all
Punching
time.
bird violation for improper transport of a rotting head. 2 demerits for speaking the old father's given name.
Even though-
And, for fucking up my desk!
A fine?
Bro, you're talking to young Kratos.
Pay it at your leisure, okay?
Real Steel was amazing. I loved Real Steel too.
Get out of my office.
I haven't seen a Marvel movie since No Way Home. That is very true. I haven't seen a good Marvel show other than
So
Moon Knight
what about get out of my office.
and
Don't
Echo.
you understand?
Those two
You said her
are
name
the
was
only
Moon?
shows that I've seen.
Oh, sure.
And I really like Moon Knight.
Thank you. I think.
Shang-Chi. I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet.
Hey, this isn't a fine.
Not now. There are enemies ahead.
Are you kidding me? You can't Sonic Blast that? This is why I'm so glad that I packed Resurrection Stone. This is why I'm glad that I packed some Resurrection Stones today. I'll play projectiles? Got you. Then I will sit here and just use the Drapnir Spear for the whole entire thing. But I'm gonna watch The Boys Invincible on Amazon Prime or Prime Video. That's where I watch Invincible or The Boys. Or if I just want to, I will just load up a website and end up just watching both of them. How much is Amazon Prime? It depends on like which version you're getting. If you're getting well, it's not on Amazon Prime, it's actually Prime Video, but it usually costs like $9. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked is that I usually watch all my stuff on my computer. Wait. It's been a while since I've actually. Oh yeah, that's $15 a month if you're doing the membership. So it's $15 a month, which is why whenever I usually watch my stuff, if I don't want to watch, which is why I usually just go and watch most of my stuff on, shows and movie websites. Because for me, I watched the entire series of Invincible on 1, 2, 3, and I shouldn't be actually mentioning this, but yeah, I watched most of my shows and stuff like that. Or at least read all my comics and stuff like that on a comic book website. Or for all my shows, I just watch on a site that already has the episodes already loaded. But I could send you some websites for you to watch boys on. I don't know how we're gonna take watching a whole entire season, or you know, watching a whole bunch of crazy fights.
Left side, incoming.
Because the fights in the boys get very brutal and very, very fun neat. So Loki, yeah, I love Loki. It's that right after this that I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Actually, Loki, technically speaking, isn't Loki technically canon now? Isn't Deadpool canon now because of Loki? Yeah, Loki has to be canon now because of well, Deadpool has to be canon now because they brought him in like right in the middle of season 2. They bought him in like right at the end.
Okay, as I was saying, I think Derlin wrote down directions.
The dwarf has given us a map.
Sort of. You smelled him, but it seems to lead to a mine beyond that mountain.
Ah,
Tyr! Derlin helped us anyway.
not everyone uses axes and arrows to fight.
And yes, for the boys, it's literally normal. Well, was normal humans. I can't really say that anymore. I can't really say it's normal humans anymore. You basically have, just imagine like DC. It's basically superheroes flipped on its head. You have the main character. You have at least one of the characters whose name is Homelander, who is a terrible human being who is basically kind of like Captain America, but with the powers of Superman.
You will be able to see a mine up there.
Ah, nothing quite like a dwarven train ride.
Yo, bro, you're funny.
Heimdall. There's a name I
There's a
don't miss
vertex. Got
hearing.
you.
No one said it until you did, just now.
Derlin. He didn't need to say it, brother. It was written all over his face. Well, burned, I should say. Into his head.
He burned that into Derlin's head?
Failed rebellions tend to warrant swift and enduring retribution.
He is a captain of Odin.
Aye, and the bearer of Galahorn.
But I would say since we are getting that Invincible game though, I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
Nothing so dangerous in a man as lack of doubt.
Seems like we're here. Come on,
We're not talking about that.
this way. You can see another train. Let's look for a way to get over there.
Oh, and by the way, question. Yeah, so I finally got caught up to X-Men 97. Actually, I don't know if I got a question.
You know,
I got caught up to
maybe
X-Men
finding Tyr is our
97.
best protection.
Magneto was right.
Odin really didn't want us to find it. Once Tyr's free and can be got
I got caught up to the new season.
Odin won't have time to worry
Magneto
about
is right.
This is his war to fight. He may have it.
Magneto was so right about that. Because I'm like, he was like, no. He's sitting there, he's like, I am not Professor Xavier. Do you know who he was like, basically, Magneto said, he's him.
I think I see something.
That's how the whole entire conversation went down. I'm not trying to fight a Dreki with low health. Actually, you know what? I'm him. Like, come on, like, bro. Like, I'm young Kratos over here, bro. Like I'm the menace.
Whoa, is that a Trekkie? What happened here?
Use caution.
I think it's dead.
Magneto was so right about that too.
Definitely dead. Hey, I wonder if...
Atreus!
Hey, question. You want to be teased right now? Cool. I'm not gonna lie. Most of these fights will be teased just because of the draft mixture.
Brother, get up! Brother!
You wanna know what's crazy is that I have been cheesing every single fight with this with this tier. I don't have my freaking my resurrection stone. By the way, Vertex and Sadat, I'm pretty sure Sadat uploaded his video first or last night. I should have bought another resurrection. But yeah, chat, still question. What are y'all doing for because I know that I'm cooking 2 videos. Down, bad Dreki, bad. What's the question? I don't know what we're gonna. Well, scratch that. Who do you guys? Well, scratch that. Never mind. I just thought of the question after I forgot about the question because it was gonna sound like a really awful question. I will sit here and I will do this. What the? What the freedom? What? Yo, Chaos, what's up? Are you kidding me? You dodged the trap near spear. It's the tail. Yeah, it's 100% the tail. Plotting? Whoa, pause. Oh, and by the way, Chad, that reminds me, we gotta check out I don't know if you guys want to check out Colin's response or I don't know if you guys want to check out Steve's video today. As soon as I just... Okay. No, not what I wanted to use. Not what I wanted to use! Not what I wanted to use! What? Let me check out Colin's response to Steve. I don't know, like from what I've noticed about it is for the fact that for one, it seems like it's all about Mayday. He's gonna jump me. He's gonna jump me. Watch. Wow, so you do that instead of jumping me.
Come on, Kratos, off your back.
Hey, at least it's not Thor. Just be glad I'm not fighting Thor. I don't even want to know how strong Thor is on this. I really don't.
Brother, get up, brother.
Everyone's ready to be happy with the baby. You'd be surprised how many people hate that idea about Mayday being in any sort of game, or anything about Peter having kids. I'm like, okay. And the oddest thing about that, it's always the people that say that they want Peter to grow up. It's always the same people that say that they want Peter to grow up, and they end up saying, no, we don't want this. And it's like, but you said you wanted Peter to grow up, right? So like, you want him to have so basically what, okay. Dauntless Shield. It's usually always the people that say that are like the most confusing. Be surprised how often I like to use the onslaught for some reason. Alright, let me lock. Spider-Verse like for children. I wouldn't say all the Spider-Verse movies are for children. I actually really like Spider-Verse. Okay, I get it. Okay. Okay, I get it. The Strikey wants everything. Excuse me, when did he level up to a level? I want to see how far I can get him to level up. I'm trying to kill him like on green so that I don't have to go to a God of War fight. Yep, before you even got a level up. What's up, R1? I have L1 for mine. Why did I just... Please tell me that reached them. Thank God. Why did I rush to dodge? I wouldn't say that, well, it depends. They do have a lot of our themes. Like, there's a theme of, well, we already saw, like, death was involved multiple times during it. Dude, I'm gonna go over here and grab this. What the? Hey, I didn't know that. Hey, I didn't know that Dragon Warrior was in the chat. I didn't know that Poe was in here. What type of raid are you using? Legacy. I got Legacy. I don't have Valor. Which I am thinking that I might need to swap to here in a second. Oh! Please move! Okay. That is the luckiest thing ever. I don't care. That is lucky. Alright, let me swap over to Valor. Since I feel like Valor would probably give me a lot more health than Moon. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna give me a as soon as I was, I don't know what made me press that. I don't know what made me press that. I feel like for the Blade of Olympus, you actually need to be timed with that.
Watch out!
Bro still died. Meaning, which is better, Xbox or PlayStation? PlayStation. Even though I would say the only way that Xbox can be better, the only way that Xbox is better is just for the fact that I can just buy most of the Xbox.
Watch out!
Hold on a second. Give me 1 second.
Just a fine mess.
Tails, watch out!
Brother, get up, brother.
Tails, watch out!
Oh, this is a fine mess.
Death counter. Why are you counting the death counter? I'm not gonna be on this boss like that. counted a death this whole time? Doesn't make any sense. Why can I not move? Usually I'm able to move right after the shield's broken. At this point, just give up or listen to Nick 830. I don't know why I decided to do that. Alright. I forgot my whole entire strat. Okay, never mind. No, I didn't. Push tornadoes into him. Blade. A lot of damage. How is that I'm so close every time? But I can't quick turn with that shit. Okay. When you parry with Dauntless, you either need yellow, you either need yellow or red energy. Let me not get caught in the lightning for like a second. This is the problem that I had with the Drekkie the first time I played it, and I played it on No Mercy.
Watch out!
And here we go again. Low health. I feel like I want to restart this checkpoint. I want to let the Drekkie kill me. But I feel like if I do let the Drekkie kill me, then I'm not going to get... Yeah, I'm going to have to let the Drekkie kill me. I'm going to let the Drekkie kill me, and after that, I'm going to respawn and actually make sure that I have everything that I need first. Bring this out. Okay. Just to get some chip damage. That was a bad time. Just as soon as I'm about to parry! That's crazy. Trying to hit 30. Trying to hit the 30 combo counter. You're dying today. And I just messed up and I used my runic. I pull realm shift. I pull realm shift. Yo, Will, what's going on? I pull realm shift, right? Wait, now I'm getting like unused to the bear mechanic. Plugging. I parry. Oh, okay, now I see it. I'm parrying too soon. Yeah, double tap. I'm parrying way too soon, chat. I just saw that. I'm parrying way too soon for some of his attacks. Let me parry like as soon. Do that. Like 5 seconds.
Watch out!
This man got me beat by 22 to nothing. This man got me beat 22 to nothing. 23 to nothing? Should dodge. 24, 24, 24. Okay, so we're at 24 deaths.
Watch out!
All right, 25. I know how to beat him. It's very easy to beat. Well, you saw how close I was the first time, so we're gonna try again.
Watch out!
So we're gonna stick with the same strat again, considering what I did the first time. Almost worked. Minikon, welcome to the stream. This guy's at 26. Do you guys think I'm gonna be at like 30 by the time I end? Why don't you be at like 30? By the way, Chaos, one more thing is that I'm not sure. Apparently Steve Talks did a whole entire 4-hour response. Okay, let's take a break for a second. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break for a second. Because I actually do want to check out Colin's response to or why did I say Steve? We're gonna take a little bit of a break, and after we're gonna come back and fight this Dreki. Okay. MK7, what's going on? We're going to check out Colin's response, and after that, I don't want to check out Steve's video because apparently Steve's did a 4-hour response. So we're gonna do Sadat. Actually, let's do Sadat first. Actually, since this video is short, let's do Sadat.
We are less than a week away from Summer Game Fest, where host Jeff Keighley will once again dance on the grave of E3. And while I'm sure some of you are excited for Borderlands 4 and Dragon Age Dreadwolf, most of us here are looking forward to more superhero content being injected straight into our veins. What did you do, Direct Nation? As is tradition, I will be breaking down which superhero games to watch out for at this Friday's Summer Game Fest show. Last year, my powers of prediction basically manifested the appearance of Insomniac Games. So once again, I'll be going over all the confirmed, leaked, and rumored superhero games you can expect to see, and Spider-Man 2 fans in particular got some great news about this show that I'll be going over later. So give that like button 19 inches of venom if you're excited for Summer Game Fest season, or change it to a dislike if you hated this video. Starting with what's been confirmed so far, Warner Brothers is an official partner at the show, and
yeah, see, look, PlayStation is gonna be there. Like, hold up, whoa.
Game Fest season, or change it to a dislike if you hated this video. Starting with what's been confirmed so far, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, PlayStation is gonna be there. I mean, it's one day, so it's not a whole bunch of separate days. It's pretty much all in one day. With PlayStation being there, there's a chance. And I'm hoping to at least see some concept art.
Brothers is an official partner at the show and has promised to give us an extended look at the latest Arkham game, Batman Arkham Shadows. This game both excited and disappointed fans when it was confirmed to be exclusive to the MetaQuest 3, but it appears like it could be a sequel to Arkham Origins with Roger Craig Smith returning to voice Batman. So it might be worth a try, especially since it was
so between Origins and Asylum, so that would put this. So Arkham Shadows right in the middle, so it'll go Arkham Origins, Shadows, then Asylum, then City, then Night.
Made by the talented studio behind the popular VR Iron Man game. Like, sticking with Warner Brothers,
here's one thing about this game that I will say though. This game should have flat out just been a console game.
They have two more superhero games they could potentially show off. The first is a long-awaited update to Wonder Woman, which was first announced in 2021. The single-player open-world action game is being developed with the famous Nemesis system by Shadow of Mordor devs Monolith Productions. And the last we heard is WB Games Montreal has been helping them out as a support studio to speed up the development time. So that could mean this is the year we finally get gameplay and a release window. Speaking of WB Games Montreal, they've been mostly quiet since the release of Gotham Knights, but they've been busy behind the scenes. In addition to working as a support studio for the Wonder Woman game, they've also been hiring for a new creative director after Patrick Redding and several management level devs left the studio last year. They're currently working on the new DC Comics game that we've been seeing job posts.
I'd like to hear more about the Wonder Woman game. I'd hear more about the Wonder Woman game. DC needs to make more games, to make games that people ask for. Exactly. Like I still want that Damian Wayne game.
For since 2022, and it's reportedly a single-player open-world action game built in the new
I'm sorry, I don't want a Superman game. I know that people may not like it, but I don't want a Superman
Unreal
game.
Engine 5 that is rumored to be starring Superman. It's been many years since we got to save
like
Metropolis in
would be
Superman
boring,
Returns, and we are long overdue for a modern version. Everyone's favorite microtransaction company, EA, is also confirmed to be at the show, but they are expected to be presenting more of those single-player games without cash shops they've been steadily pushing out more and more of over the years. The most likely of these in terms of superhero games we can expect is Iron Man from Dead Space remake developer Motive Studios. This game was revealed by the leak god himself, Jeff Grubb, back in 2022, and he believed it would be launching in the year 2025, which means we're due for the game's first trailer. It's already been through a playtesting phase, so I'm expecting actual gameplay and confirmation on that 2025 release window. The other EA Marvel games are more of a long shot. We got a teaser trailer for Black Panther last year, and according to Grubb's initial leak, that game is further away than Iron Man, so I wouldn't expect another big update so soon. The third EA Marvel game is the big question mark. According to Grubb, this one was so early in development, they hadn't picked.
So you still want Damian Wayne game? I should still want the Flash game, but those games might not ever happen if I'm being real. The Damian Wayne game looks so good though, like it connected to Arkham City.
Picked a hero yet back in 2023, and with that last round of layoffs at EA, it's unclear if that game was canceled along with the Mandalorian game from Respawn. If that game doesn't get announced in 2024, it might be safe to assume EA is shortening the deal they signed with Marvel to 2 games instead of 3. But if you are hyped about seeing some other Marvel heroes, Epic Games will be in attendance, and we could get an update on the latest Unreal Engine 5 tech demo game, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Fans were blown away by the World War II era Black Panther and Captain America game, and considering it's penned by the writer of all of your favorite Uncharted games, Amy Hennig, this one could be a Game of the Year contender.
Well, except for Uncharted 4. She left during Uncharted 4.
Summer Game Fest would be a great time to follow up to give fans an idea of when they can get their hands on the game and how good the gameplay looks compared to the cutscenes. Last but certainly not least is Insomniac Games. While I wouldn't expect anything about Marvel's Wolverine or the Venom game until the PlayStation Showcase we just found out about, an update to Spider-Man 2 appears to be happening. In addition to quality of life fixes the community has been asking for and new costumes from Kid Super the community definitely did not ask for and are begging to be kept away, Spider-Man 2 is expected to reveal its story DLC for the first time. Fans were disappointed when Insomniac skipped another state of play, but it appears they will be returning for the second year in a row to Summer Game Fest. PlayStation is confirmed to be presenting at the show, and in a Q&A, event creator Jeff Keighley was asked about DLC being shown at Summer Game Fest, and not only did he say he's fine with it, he confirmed there is a very cool DLC trailer being shown off this year. The apparent first Spider-Man 2 DLC will be the Beetle Invasion, which was accidentally teased by Insomniac in the New Game Plus update.
So that means that there's a chance, because there's no reason why Jeff would say we have a special DLC to show off. I'm Black IRL. I mean, you are though. No, I'm joking. Hey, at least we get that DLC though. Could be another game. I don't think it's another game. They're holding off on it. They did say DLC might be shown off. So, like, that makes me think, can we get the DLC for this game? And I'm hoping that I am. Well, I'm not going to say I'm hoping that I'm right. But, like, I'm hoping that I'm not going to say I'm right. But, like, there's a 50-50 chance that I am. There's, like, a small, like, chance that I am. And if I'm right...
A side quest in the main game also set up the follow-up to the City That Never Sleeps DLC story, this time with former cop Yuri Watanabe hunting down Cletus Cassidy, who
what's the percentage of a GT what's the I'll say GTA 6. What's the percentage of a DLC trailer? It's very low. But then again, though, last year last year at Summer Game Fest, last year's Summer Game Fest was a huge W though, because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was there. We also got the first look at Venom. Mortal Kombat was also there, and I think there was like a whole bunch of stuff going on at the Summer Game Fest that day or last year. So like, it's 50-50.
now has everything he needs to terrorize the city as Carnage. Of course, all of Insomniac's future plans were leaked in last year's awful cyber attack, but that hasn't reduced any of the excitement or support real fans have for what Insomniac is cooking up, and I can't wait to play their next update. Speaking of, as I mentioned before, PlayStation isn't done yet with 2024, and there is a proper PlayStation showcase coming up focused on their biggest upcoming releases. Click the
We're not gonna look at this
video on screen to learn more.
Alright, that's the W video. Alright, now we got Colin. Actually, hold on a minute. Chaos, I don't know if you're still here, but can you send me the video in the Discord? Oh, no, we have voltage after the video. Actually, no, let's do it and watch Colin's video since we're here. We got, oh yeah, the response. Okay, yep. To Steve. I don't know why I said Steve. Alright. So we got Colin. Across the Spider-Verse ruined Peter B. Parker.
If I held a baby over...
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. I already watched like half of this, so we're just gonna have to start from the beginning.
Couple things I want to preface. One, if you disagree with anything said in this video and you would So a YouTuber named Sheev Talks made this video about Across the Spider-Verse, basically saying that the movie ruined Peter B's character, and that he's very out of character coming off of Into the Spider-Verse. Before I get into this response, there's a couple things I want to preface. One, if you disagree with anything said in this video and you would like to discuss it, there's a Discord link in the description so we can voice call, or you can join one of my Disagreement Day streams hosted by me and SK. We try to do these every weekend. Number two,
Spider-Verse movies are not my taste. I only saw the first one. Across is great. Across is really great. I love Across. I love Into and I also love Across. I like both of them. And I'm really hoping for Beyond they cook. My favorite character in Across is Spider-Punk. I absolutely love Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk, like, what do you guys really think about this? Spider-Punk was out here telling Miles, out here warning Miles before Miguel even brought up the canon stuff. That's the great thing about that. Like, Spider-Punk was like, hey, I'm warning you ahead of time. Which, by the way, fun fact, I think I figured out how Miles got his chain lightning. I figured out where the chain lightning came from. Well, I'm not going to say where the chain lightning came from, but...
The person I'm responding to still thinks Across the Spider-Verse is a great movie, but he just has issues with this part of the movie. And then finally, number three, I want to give a shout out to both SK and Crisis for helping me out with a couple parts of this video. So with all that said, let's get into it.
Now, of course, the most obvious thing that irks me about Peter is the way he handles his job as a parent, which again is especially frustrating given the fact that him having a baby represents the culmination of his arc in the last movie, and I was really excited to see what they would do with that here. When he finally shows up a little over halfway through the film, we're introduced to Mayday Parker, his and MJ's infant daughter. I'm not entirely clear on if the timelines of each respective universe are exactly parallel, since for Miles it's been about 16 months, but for Peter it seems to have been a little bit longer given her age. Either way, Mayday is definitely still a baby, but she does clearly appear to have inherited her dad's spider powers, which is something that'll be worth keeping in mind as we get into this. Peter even made her own web shooters so that she can swing around, which is questionable. The broader point I'm about to make here is that Peter is extremely irresponsible when it
He's going to have a baby with him. This is Peter B. This is Peter B. This is the Peter... Okay, this is the Peter that taught Miles Into the Spider-Verse. And pretty much this Peter... And pretty much, long story... Peter B is different from the Peter in Miles' universe. Peter B was, if you guys haven't seen Into, pretty much at the end of Into the Spider-Verse, Miles changed Peter's mind. Miles inspired Peter to actually get back together with MJ for them to have Mayday. Just came up with an idea. Imagine if they had cross Spider-Verse suit and like, you know, and you and Miles with the cat, and it'd be a social finisher what happens. What happens they do that, but with Mayday. I mean, if they do that with Mayday, then hey. And on top of that, one more thing too is that would be actually really cool. And on top of that, one more thing too is that, for starters, Peter hasn't seen Miles or Gwen in, well, I really don't know how long the time span is between his universe and the other universe, but and Miles' universe, Gwen's universe is. But it's been a while since he's seen them.
When it comes to how he parents Mayday, and I think this is just one of a few microcosms that serves as an example of a larger issue. It's not very safe to give a baby with superpowers access to the means to swing around wherever she wants, even if her powers also grant her at least some level of durability. And no, Peter addressing the fact that it wasn't a good idea doesn't really change the fact that it was bad.
I knew I was gonna regret making her that web shooter. I shouldn't have done it. That's an actual mistake.
That's what we call lamp shading, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not irresponsible for Peter to give Mayday a web shooter, especially if he's going to be supervising her. Right. She can't just swing around wherever she wants. And she also has super baby durability. By this logic, it's irresponsible for a parent to let a normal kid go play on a trampoline because there's a possibility the kid could break their neck or something. Or it's irresponsible to let your kid draw with markers or pencils because they might start licking, eating, or chewing on them, or they might stab themselves with a pencil. Parents aren't irresponsible for letting their children do things that even have a slight risk to it, especially if that stuff is supervised. And yes, Peter saying it was a mistake was obviously a joke, and it technically is lampshading, but even though a piece of media makes a joke of a concern someone might bring up about the part of that piece of media, that doesn't mean it's actually a valid criticism of the piece of media. For example, in Kung Fu Panda 1, they make multiple jokes about how Po is fat, he's a fat panda with no experience, but it's obviously not a valid criticism of that movie to say that he had plot armor against Tai Lung when you actually analyze what's going on in the film.
Now, it does seem worth getting into exactly the nature of Mayday's abilities, since it is relevant. Like I said, she has spider powers, which I would imagine gives her a lot of the same advanced reflexes and reaction times as you typically see from a spider person, as well as a lot of the same agility and a good deal of durability. Though, seeing as she's a baby, I don't imagine any of that is nearly to the same extent as a fully grown or even teenage spider person. So while
before we even elaborate on this for a second, I'm actually going to show you guys that literally Mayday in her own comics actually is a spider person. Like, and I'm not really sure what the power scaling she scales to, but okay.
Peter, Miles, or Gwen can take pretty severe damage.
Version didn't work right than some. Well, I mean, I still like Ultimate, so.
And walk away fine. I'm gonna assume the same can't be said for Mayday. We frankly don't have any way of determining exactly how much she can take. It might be as much as your average adult human, maybe more, maybe less. Though it's probably safe to assume that if she were to, for example, fall out of Peter's baby carrier while he's hanging from the ceiling and Peter isn't able to jump down in time to catch her, that would probably really hurt or injure her, if not outright kill her.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it.
I'm sorry, I know that Crisis had to have put this in. He loves Metal Gear. Sorry.
The fuck up.
So you say that the superhuman durability isn't as relevant as any of the other teenage or adult spider people, but you have no references in the film that actually show that age is an effect on the extent of their superhuman abilities. Peter B is a lot older than Gwen and Miles, and they all seem to be around the same level of power in terms of their physical abilities. You show a clip from TASM 2 as if it correlates at all when the context of both movies is laid out, and you show a clip of Peter catching Mayday when she falls as if this proves anything either. For all we know, he's just trying to be protective of her. This would be like saying I can't survive falling from 10 feet because some—
One more thing too about and yes, I know I'm ready to Colin's video, but I'm just gonna elaborate. I'm watching Colin's video, but I'm also gonna elaborate on some points. Peter catching Gwen and, well, I'm just gonna say Andrew trying to stop Gwen from falling. First of all, they were already going at high speed. They were already falling at high speed. And on top of that, one more thing too is that if you really look at it, they were already falling. The web, he shot the web to try to catch her while he's free falling. And he decided to grab on the pole at a high speed and not timing it correctly, and Gwen happened to die. There's a difference.
someone caught me when I landed. And even if Mayday's superhuman abilities aren't to the level of the other older spider people, this would still be irrelevant because even if she had the same level of durability as, let's say, like a regular adult human in this universe, we still see, based on the physics of the previous films, that the physics in this universe, just like many other comic book things, live action or animated, are exaggerated and people can usually survive things that normal humans in the real world cannot. And this would still be irrelevant even with the points brought up later in the video.
So with that in mind, I wonder if we think it'd be a good idea for Peter to bring her along with him during this incredibly intense, fast-paced chase sequence where several superpowered beings are trampling over each other trying to capture Miles. Yeah, I don't think so either.
Alright. I'm sorry for doing this. This is bad parenting.
Stop lampshading! The defenses I've heard for this are interesting, to say the least. But I suppose if we want to get into this, we should lay out all the context and determine what I think the best choice probably is if you're Peter. He wanted to bring Mayday along because he was hoping to get a moment alone with Miles, have him hold the baby to calm him down, and try to have a heart-to-heart with him to get him to see reason about the whole letting his dad die thing. You know, as you do. Okay, so I'm not a father, so maybe I just have no idea what I'm talking about, but I somehow don't think I—
What the fuck is lampshading? Hold on, man, let me go back. We're actually I'm trying to find it. Hold on a minute. Lamp shading. But I do like how he used the Homelander meme, though. I'm sorry. I like the boys. Okay, well, we're gonna have to go back after it. I'll explain it like right after.
I'd feel safe with bringing my baby along during this dangerous spider chase and carrying her around through all these narrow spaces as I chase Miles through this factory, just so that I can have a heart-to-heart with the guy. I'm sure Peter cares about Miles, but the priority of his child's safety has to come first, even above all that, surely. I mean, he just never struck me as the kind to be so brazen with the lives of the people he cares about is all, especially his own flesh and blood. And you really don't even need her here to say what you need to say to Miles. Again, he wanted her there because he hoped she'd be able to help de-escalate the situation, but given the things we've just listed, I think you're better off just giving him the speech without her.
Peter bringing her on this chase still isn't really him being irresponsible. Even if the film again—
What made him bring the baby with him, though? I really don't know. On top of that, one more thing is for the fact that he was trying to de-escalate the situation. Peter was trying to de-escalate the situation and was trying to calm Miles down. And on top of that, it's been a while, like I said, it's been a while since Peter B has seen Miles or Gwen. So, well, has seen Miles and Gwen. So, of course, you know, and I'm not going to say, and I'm not trying to mean this in like a really strange way, but of course, like, that just goes to show that Miles changed Peter's mind for him to have Mayday. But still, Peter is there supervising, so there's not going to be a mess up.
again makes a joke out of it. Because as we go throughout the chase, Peter is consistently keeping his distance and not really trying to engage in any kind of physical conflict. He's also holding Mayday really tightly when he needs to, so as to make sure that Mayday doesn't fall out, as well as keeping his distance from the other spider people when they might have a higher risk of bumping into him. And Peter is a very
You know what's odd too is for a fact that he's not going to complain about Jessica Drew, which I find wild. But okay.
Experienced Spider-Man. He knows how to maneuver his way through things so that Mayday won't be hurt by something. And I think that's a very reasonable thing for the audience to assume. So if he believes that Mayday will help calm Miles down and de-escalate things so that an entire universe doesn't get destroyed, then yes, I think he might take a small risk, a very small risk, of not being able to keep Mayday as safe as possible. Especially with all the factors that I just laid out.
At any rate, once this plan fails and the chase proceeds again, it should be clear to Peter that this isn't gonna work and he should go ahead and take Mayday somewhere less
Well, I mean, it's Spider-Verse Gwen. I really don't like Spider-Verse Gwen like that.
dangerous.
I like Gwenpool more.
So even just accepting that he's brought her along this far, there are two courses of action that I would recommend next. Number one, take her home. Literally just use your fancy little wristwatch to head back to your own dimension, lay her down in her crib, and then come back to rejoin the chase. I've heard it argued that this is a bad idea because we're shown how long it takes to dimension hop, so by the time he gets back, the chase might have moved miles away, and he'll have
exactly
no idea how or where to find them. Which is an interesting point to make, given that all the spider people chasing Miles are communicating through earpieces, and Peter is connected to that network, so I don't think he would have had that much trouble figuring out where they all were, if it wasn't already obvious just by scanning the city and seeing a sea of Spider-Men all gathered in one spot. But also, it really doesn't take that long from what we're shown. I don't imagine the chase will have even moved all that far by the time he gets back to Miguel's dimension. And option two, just swing her back to the Spider Society headquarters real quick, leave her under the supervision of Spider-Bite, and then go join the chase, which is what you should have done anyway, Peter. If you're afraid of her going off on her own while you're not there to protect her, fucking web her up or something.
One, Peter is literally still trying to de-escalate both parties' emotions in this scenario. I don't know why you would assume he would just stop trying. And guess what? This literally did work during their talk. He calmed Miles down.
Yeah.
The only reason it escalated back again was because of the call that Peter got on his watch in the middle of their conversation. Two, if Peter just leaves in the middle of this chase then comes back doing either of the options you listed, this takes time away from the chase, hence giving them a huge head start over him, and not giving him as many opportunities to try and de-escalate either party's emotions. And we literally see the other spider people and how far they are lagging behind.
The issue is that okay, so basically, long story short, the issue that Colin's trying to debunk is for the fact that Sheev thinks that, Across the Spider-Verse ruined Peter B. Parker. Like, thinking that, like, it ruined his character. You got sort of people that you want to be in the boss people? You want to be in the boss battle in Wolverine? This is only, like, one, and I'm hoping that it's true. I want to fight Deadpool. And on top of that, most of it's literally just nitpick. I think the baby is the problem. Yeah, Mayday is the problem.
So, if that was Peter lagging behind even farther, he wouldn't have had
His
any
only problem is
opportunities to get what he wants. And three, you literally brought up earlier, and we are literally shown that time works differently in other dimensions. So we don't know how long Peter would have been gone for. And then four, I've already established how he's not being irresponsible throughout the chase, so either way, your points are still irrelevant.
I recognize that that's kind of cruel, but it's a lot less cruel and dangerous than taking her with you on the back of a bullet train going God only knows how fast and heading straight toward outer space. I don't understand how anyone can defend this.
It doesn't really matter how fast the train is going or if he's going to space. Once again, as established previously, Peter is playing it smart and keeping his distance. And he's also a very skilled and experienced spider person. And two, if they're literally about to hit the point where they're about to enter space, Peter can just jump off, like he does literally at the end of the chase, where he catches up with Miguel right before Miles leaves. And guess what? Mayday is still doing just fine.
Let's take another look at what we talked about with Spider-Man's superhuman durability. Across several continuities, we've seen examples.
Did you get hurt, though? Yeah, but Peter's right there. Peter's right there making sure that nothing happens. Peter should have at least, had her safe in the actual Spider Society, in the Spider Society building, or at least gone to check his universe and put her with MJ. Yeah, but that would mean that he would be lagging behind in the chase. Peter's trying to Peter B. It's kind of hard to say because, like, there's so many Peters. Peter B. Peter B's trying to de-escalate the situation, and he's also in the back making sure that nothing happens to Mayday. Like, making sure that nothing happens to Mayday. So, like,
examples of Spider-Man being able to withstand impressive amounts of punishment.
Like he does literally at the end of the chase, where he catches up with Miguel right before Miles leaves. And guess what? Mayday is still doing just fine.
Let's take another look at what we talked about with Spider-Man's superhuman durability. Across several continuities, we've seen examples of Spider-Man being able to withstand impressive amounts of punishment, and yet there are still very clear limits to what Peter can withstand before injuring himself. Results are likely to vary depending on the version we're...
Well, I mean, Tom got ran over by a train, so... He probably knows his way around the city to get there faster, yeah. I think some of us have dark thinking, that is a fact.
Talking about. And in the specific case of these films, there do appear to be some level of cartoon physics at play with what certain characters are able to do that they realistically shouldn't be capable of. So there is some wiggle room here, but it's important that we have those clear limits so that we understand generally what our main characters can withstand. And we're shown in the previous film that a much younger and more physically fit version of Peter is still capable of being badly injured and eventually killed if he takes strong enough hits. The film is also treating it as though they're high enough up that even for a spider person, it would be deadly to fall from this height. The only reason it's not for Miles or Miguel is because Miguel has a suit that allows him to guide his falls, and Miles is presumably latching onto flying cars like he did when he initially escaped the tower. So even though people like to defend this by saying she has superpowers, I think it's fair to assume that if Peter were to accidentally drop her, she would die. Oh, but Peter wouldn't drop her, and even if he did, he could easily catch her because he's Spider-Man. This is a situation where Peter is hardly in control of all the variables. If something happens, like, say, Miles blasting Miguel with a big burst of electricity, sending him flying back and crashing right into multiple Spider-Men down below, causing them to lose their grip on the train, there is absolutely no way Peter can guarantee Mayday's safety. Nor does being Spider-Man automatically mean you're going to be able to react and move quickly enough to save someone who's falling to their death.
Why do you bring up the TASM 2 clip? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She brings up the TASM 2 clip. Like,
especially when you're this high up and the train is moving as quickly as it is. By the time Peter even jumps to rescue her, she might have already bashed her head in on one of these tunnel edges. Peter also has no idea just how strong Miles actually is, so there's no way of judging how powerful the blast is gonna be when he does it to Miguel. For all he knows, he and Gwen are well within the danger zone and would be sent flying, possibly even sustaining some injury that weakens Peter and makes it harder for him to react in time to save his daughter.
Yes, I agree. Any spider person can die from taking a certain amount of damage. No one is contending this. But you say the film is treating this as if the spider people fall, they will die. But based on what exactly? In fact, when they fall, the film treats it as the exact opposite. Because when they do jump off the train, they end up just fine because of their physical abilities and web shooters. And if Miles can latch onto something after falling from a high height and swing from it, then around the same amount of force that would be generated from landing on the ground would be equivalent to the amount of force his arm would have to support if he swung from a car he latched onto after falling from that high. And also, another more probable reason either party would be worried about falling in this situation is because for Miles, he needs more time to draw out the spider people farther, and from Miguel's perspective, he would be getting farther away from Miles. And another thing to bring up is falling from terminal velocity, which is the fastest a human being can fall from the sky, ranges from around small building levels of energy to wall levels of energy.
Wait a second. Okay, so yeah, this is basically how I usually power scale almost. Okay, so anybody that wants to know, I know what website this is from. I think this is from Versus Battle Wiki, or I think I'm not going to go into details on this, but this is the exact calculation.
If you don't know what that is, I'll just put it up on the screen. But that is equivalent to the amount of force that Miles would have needed to be able to survive to tank the explosion at the end of Into the Spider-Verse when the collider exploded. And this was also a weakened version of Miles at that who survived that explosion.
Okay, so that's 10 point. Okay, so that's 110 point. That's 110.2 tons of TNT. Miles is about 19.3 meters away from the explosion. Hold on a minute. This is actually really interesting. If y'all don't know how I usually like the power scale, I usually just look up the power scaling. I usually just look at like the words and to see how much. I don't really go into stats like this. Miles, okay. So Miles taking that particle collider explosion. Yeah, that's 110.2 tons of TNT. And Miles' durability based on his powers and jewels, durability 0.043 tons. So yeah, that is between wall level and small building.
So, if the power scaling of the characters in this universe is consistent, then none of the prominent spider people in this movie would die from falling this high. And again, you still haven't proven that Mayday is so much weaker than any of the other spider people. I don't care that she's a baby, she's still superhuman. And you say that Peter can't control all the variables like Miles shooting off Miguel and crashing into him, but he quite literally can and is mitigating that risk to be as low as possible. Hence why he's keeping his distance from the other group of spider people and Miguel and Miles. Also, you say that he doesn't know how powerful Miles is, but he obviously has a very good estimate given that he would assume Miles would have used all his power to break out of the containment unit that holds anomalies. And guess what? When that happened, he was far enough away from Miles, just like he is on the train, to the point where he can keep his bearings and keep Mayday safe if that was to happen, even though he's farther away on the train than he was in the cannon event room. The only reason the other spider people and or Miguel ever got sent flying backwards or they were disoriented was because they were closer to the blast in the cannon event scene. And another risk he accounts for is Miguel flying backwards, hence him keeping his distance. This not only highly mitigates any risk of not having enough time to react, but if either of them gets sent flying backwards, someone falling backwards like that and them moving towards them is at a very generous highball, at least 2 times slower than bullets, and that is being generous. The only reason the other spider people even likely get hit by Miguel falling is because they don't have a lot of room to maneuver and they're all bunched around on top of each other.
Plus, even if Peter was pretty confident in his ability to save Mayday in any such event, that's still not an excuse to bring her into any dangerous situation. Like, I'm not Spider-Man, but I'm pretty confident that if I held a baby over a fire, I'd be fully capable of ensuring that I don't accidentally drop them into it. But that doesn't suddenly make it a good idea for me to do that, even if I think holding the baby over the fire is the only way to help someone I care about.
This is a really bad comparison because of the last sentence that you literally just debunked yourself with. But we've already established why Mayday was even here in the first place. You yourself even established that. And I already established that Peter is competent enough and is playing it safe so as to mitigate.
But here's the thing, Peter B isn't always in 2099.
Any possible harm coming to Mayday. This is like saying someone is a bad parent because they walked across a busy street while holding their baby, as if there aren't easy ways to mitigate the risk of being hit by a car, or if someone drives with their child in a car, even though car crashes happen very frequently. You can say things have a risk, but when you put in the context, that risk can be bigger or smaller depending on it. In this case, it's not a very big risk. Peter being Spider-Man is inherently a risk to leave Mayday and MJ without a husband and a father. Is Peter character assassinated for that as well? Is Toothless character assassinated in How to Train Your Dragon 2 for dangling Hiccup over an edge even though he could easily save him if he accidentally dropped him? Is Hiccup character assassinated at the end of How to Train Your Dragon 3 for flying with his children on the back of his dragons?
However, it's also worth noting a few extra
That is a fact. Like, bro,
things. The first of which is that when he eventually does bring Mayday home, we finally meet MJ and she gives.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that is actually a pretty good comparison. That is actually a really good comparison because you would have to be supervised. That's actually a really good comparison.
Thus this line.
Peter, did you bring our baby to another fight?
I'm sorry, another? Are we implying this has happened before? Let's pretend for even a second that the context surrounding him bringing her along to the spider chase was in any way justified. Am I to believe that every other time he's involved this poor baby in a fight, there just wasn't any other option but to endanger her life? Every instance of this happening has justified context. Really. Because as absurd as that is, even if that is the case, then I no longer want to hear any of you say Peter was justified in bringing her to the Spider Society headquarters to begin with. Clearly, this is not a safe environment for a child, as many have argued, just because there are hundreds of Spider-Men there to protect her in the event of an attack. Because apparently there have been multiple moments where push came to shove.
The line from MJ and how you frame it once again is making things sound worse than they actually.
Oh, hey, I know him. This is Colin's video.
They are or could be.
Explain some
We
kind of
don't
work
even
quick.
know the context for what MJ is talking about. For all we know, Peter was walking down the street with Mayday one time and stopped a small mugging while he had Mayday with him. This isn't a major risk that would put Mayday's life in very much danger, if barely at all. You frame the lack of context we get as if he brought Mayday to go fight the Green Goblin or something, and you say it's not safe for him to bring Mayday to the Spider HQ even though there are literally hundreds of Spider people there to fight and heavily mitigate any risk, and bring up some mystery moments where push came to shove. Ah, yes, what a brilliant argument. By this logic, any police officer that drives their kid to school in their squad car or brings their kid into a police precinct are bad parents because an attack could always happen. Like, shut the fuck up.
Or then again, let's be really fair and assume it's only ever happened one other time. After all, MJ's line might just imply that it's happened once before, and obviously the fact that her baby's life was put in danger scared her, so she asked Peter to never let something like that happen again. That's not really how the scene seems to be framing it, as both he and MJ seem to almost laugh off what Peter just did as something.
Again, that's not what she said. She just said you brought her to another fight again. There's a difference. Oh no, I just muted the video.
Anything, this would imply that the
and obviously the fact that her baby's life was put in danger scared her, so she asked Peter to never let something like that happen again. That's not really how the scene seems to be framing it, as both he and MJ seem to almost laugh off what Peter just did as something quirky and cute.
Yes, the scene makes a joke out of it. If anything, this would imply that the mystery context for which we know nothing about wasn't actually that big of a deal. And MJ knows that Peter would not bring Mayday into a situation where he can't be sure that he can keep her as safe as possible, even if there's a slight risk to it.
But let's go with that. My point still stands that if there's apparently a risk of Mayday's life being in danger should she accompany Peter to this place, then he should stop fucking bringing her there.
Your point
Who's talking about the Exos party now? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, that's the reason why I always have to restart my PC, or at least have to either restart it or I'm in there waiting for a little bit because I always get that connection part. I think it's only for PC though.
Doesn't stand for shit. And you even know your own point doesn't stand for shit because of later in the video. But the film quite literally never established that the Spider HQ has ever even been attacked. So what the fuck are you even talking about?
However, it could also be argued that the fight being referred to happened here on...
See, that's what I'm trying to say. People will say that it happened. It didn't happen. The Spider Society is the best place. They have never been attacked. Well, yet. They haven't been attacked yet.
Peter's Earth, unrelated to the Spider Society. I don't know, maybe it was some random thing that Peter had to deal with while he was out with Mayday, so it really couldn't be helped. Again, though, even that amount of context...
You notice how he kind of just realized that the defense that I made would turn his argument on its ass? Well, now let's see him move his argument to a different place, because that previous one had no leg to stand on.
And that amount of context should really put into perspective for Peter just how dangerous this life can be now that he has a little one to look after.
Hold on a second. Rewind that. Rewind that. I'm sorry.
Bringing her there.
Your point doesn't stand for shit. And you even know your own point doesn't stand for shit because of later in the video. But the film quite literally never established that the Spider HQ has ever even been attacked. So what the fuck are you even talking about?
However, it could also be argued that the fight being referred to happened here on Peter's Earth, unrelated to the Spider Society. I don't know, maybe it was some random thing that Peter had to deal with while he was out with Mayday, so it really couldn't be helped. Again, though, even that amount of context...
You notice how he kind of just realized that the defense that I made would turn his argument on its ass? Well, now let's see him move his argument to a different place because that previous one had no leg to stand on.
And that amount of context should really put into perspective for Peter just how dangerous this life can be now that he has a little one to look after. So maybe encouraging her at a very young age to swing around with webs and taking her along to meet all your cool new spider friends really isn't the best idea, because it might make her decide that she wants to follow in her dad's footsteps at an age where she is way too young to try to be a superhero.
So let me get this straight. Not only do you think it's out of character for Peter Parker to want his daughter to grow up saving lives and being a good person with her great power coming great responsibility just because there's a risk of danger, when the film frames it as the exact opposite because Peter literally wants Mayday to grow up like Miles did. He wants her around these environments and to spend a lot of time with her doing stuff because of that. And you also say she's gonna go out and become a superhero at a very young age, then you don't establish what you think that...
You know that Peter was a superhero at a young age whenever he started, right? I'm sorry. I know this is Colin's video, but I'm sorry. She was not making a lot of good points.
Do you think baby Mayday is just gonna go out there
Doing,
and
like,
fight
two
crime?
good
I guess
points.
Peter should never leave Mayday's side, because if she can just sneak around the house and go wherever the hell she wants, then Peter should always be with her. I also want to ask, is it bad for police officers, military fighters, firefighters to bring their kids around work or their work life because there's a chance their kid might want to become like them? What the fuck are you talking about?
And even with all that said, I still don't believe Peter cares enough to justify endangering Mayday, because you can make excuses for him bringing her along to the spider chase, but how exactly do you square away the fact that he decides to once again bring her into dangerous and unknown territory at the end of the film? Gwen shows up to recruit him into her mission to find Miles and help him stop Miguel, and that is an undertaking where Peter has no way of knowing what's in store. She showed up to his universe while he and Mayday are safe at home, and still he decided it would be totally fine to bring her along. He could have just left her there, but he didn't, because unlike many of the people trying to defend this, the film itself somehow doesn't seem to recognize that what Peter is doing here is fucked up. They seem to think it's cute.
At the end of the film, bringing Mayday still doesn't have any more of a risk than things I mentioned earlier. At the end of the movie, they're going to find Miles. I doubt Peter has any plans of getting into some crazy altercation where Mayday's life would realistically actually be in any kind of crazy danger. You keep conflating high risk and low risk as if they're the same fucking thing, and if that does happen, then Peter can just leave and put her back at home. We don't know what they're doing in Beyond the Spider-Verse. For all we know, they probably know where Miles is, and knows they're going into territory where they know there's not going to be much danger. And the danger that they would probably most likely run into, Peter just wouldn't fight the other spider people. If he has Mayday, obviously. But that's not—
Well, it depends. There is Prowler. Well, there is Prowler Miles. But still, even I'm pretty sure, even though I'm pretty sure that I don't know how that fight would work, I'm gonna be honest, but hey. Probably Peter meets Earth 42 variant of himself, and he's probably the Kingpin. Or he's probably evil Spider-Man or something.
not the situation he thinks he's walking into, and he would obviously mitigate any risk in the case that that might come to that, just like he did on the train. And you might say, oh, well, that might just mitigate Peter's fighting ability. Yes, it would, but again, he's trying to de-escalate things. And if he just so happens to run into some crazy villain, there is literally like 6 spider people right there that will be able to handle the job. In fact, he would probably want to plan out any kind of attack before doing any kind of like physical altercations, because even though all the people at the end of the movie might be a little shaky right now on the canon thing, I'm assuming they're probably gonna go more into that and, you know, ask Miles what they should do. What are we gonna do?
Serious damage is being dealt to one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, but it's alright because as long as we can put this cute baby in a pivotal role in Beyond the Spider-Verse, we can sell a shit ton of toys once that movie comes out. So that makes it all fine.
What the fuck? What proof do you have that Mayday will play some massive role in Beyond the Spider-Verse? She doesn't even play a big role in Across the Spider-Verse. She's in the movie for like 15 minutes max, and I think I'm highballing that.
One thing I really love about this whole discussion is how many people keep trying to justify this by using the fact that he let Miles and Gwen help out in the first movie, despite the fact that they're both kids. But, you know, setting aside the fact that obviously there's a big difference in maturity and capability between teenagers and babies, you might also consider the fact that they aren't Peter's children.
So you think just because they aren't his children that he doesn't care? Yeah, because that really sounds like Spider-Man to me. Well, I mean, it does—
I'm sorry, I have to agree. Colin is making a lot of solid points.
Sound like one Spider-Man.
You're saying the lives of a billion strangers are more important than my loved ones?
Goodbye.
And he has absolutely no authority to tell them they can't be Spider-Man.
He absolutely does have the authority to tell them they can't be Spider-Man. However, what they choose to do is out of his control.
And even then, when Peter thinks Miles isn't ready to face Kingpin, he actively stops him from coming along, even at great personal cost to himself, since it would mean Miles won't be there to shut off the collider, so Peter will have to stay behind and do it instead, meaning he'll have no way of getting home and will eventually die from being in the wrong universe-itis.
Yes, I agree, he doesn't let Miles help with Kingpin because he doesn't think he's ready. But guess what? When Miles proves himself in that fight, Peter has a change of heart, and again wants Mayday to end up just like him. But also, bringing Mayday on a chase, which he can easily mitigate the risk of harm coming to her, isn't even remotely the same as the fight at the end of the Spider-Verse, so it's just a bad comparison. Now I'm gonna skip ahead in this video to the next point of criticism, but basically he then goes on about talking how Peter in this movie takes nothing seriously, so let's just skip to his first point and how that is.
In this movie, you get the distinct impression that Peter B. Parker does not give a single fuck. Like seriously, our very first scene with Peter has him swinging around, cracking jokes, and just being a goofball, while Miguel is trying to hold a serious conversation with Miles and Gwen. And I understand that he's trying to lighten the mood, but there's a big difference between that and what he's doing.
No, there really isn't much of a difference at all. When Peter arrives, Miguel is berating Miles in a harsh manner. Peter doesn't want this, so he attempts to lighten the mood. Peter literally makes jokes when he's fighting supervillains, and now you think it's a problem that he attempts to lighten the mood a little bit in an attempt to make things easier in telling Miles? I also want to add that he wants to catch up with Miles after not seeing him for so long, especially with what they're about to tell him.
Especially given the context of what's at stake and what revelation Miles is about to receive, which Peter fully knows about. It just makes him kind of a jackass when you think about it.
Yes, Peter knows about this, hence him trying to lighten the mood, and guess what? When Miguel actually starts explaining the canon to Miles, Peter takes it very seriously the whole time during the explanation. Literally in the clip that you show, Peter has a facial expression that expresses he's taking this seriously. You're just blatantly lying here.
He's trying to show off baby pictures and getting all annoyed when Miguel mentions how the multiverse is unraveling.
The fate of the multiverse.
You always lose me with that. You say the fate of the multiverse, and my brain dies.
Which is just such an odd exchange. I thought so when I first watched the movie, but it took me a while to really place why. It's pretty obvious to me that the scene they seem to be trying to emulate from the first movie is this one here.
Or everyone's gonna die. That is what they always say. But there's always a little bit of time before everybody dies, and that's when I do my best work.
But while that moment is pretty funny and mostly played for laughs, the context surrounding this is what makes the exchange work so well. It isn't that Peter doesn't care about saving people, it's that he's at a point in his life where he's tired of shouldering all that responsibility by himself, of always being the one people look to sacrifice everything while everything around him falls apart.
With great power comes
Don't you dare finish that sentence. Don't do it. I'm sick of it.
He's not
Which, by the way, yeah, I don't really know if I want to play Multiverse later. I might be playing Apex later on. But by the way, chat, if you guys want to know, yeah, I'm literally gonna make a video about this too. This whole entire part, right? Well, not
care
this
about
part,
saving
like,
people. It's that he's at a point in his
y'all
life
already
where
heard what I heard. Y'all know what video I'm making.
He's tired of shouldering all that responsibility by himself, of always being the one people look to sacrifice everything while everything around him falls apart.
With great power comes
Don't you dare finish that sentence. Don't do it. I'm sick of it.
He's not apathetic, he's just tired.
It's hilarious that you don't understand that both of these scenes communicate the same exact thing. Even when both contexts are laid out, Peter is tired of Miguel always being so uptight and aggressive about things. But that doesn't mean he's not taking his job seriously.
One of the things I really love about the way he's handled in the first film is that almost every line of his has a double meaning, both in actual dialogue but also the tone in which it's delivered. The scene with him being hyperbolic about bread and his failure to deliver a fresh batch to MJ's table is really funny, but of course it's also clearly representative of what Peter most regrets in the world, something which he currently doesn't think he'll ever get a chance to put right, because again, at this point he believes he's gonna have to sacrifice himself and stay behind in 1610 so that the rest of the Spider team can get home. It's funny, but it's also sad, and that's Peter's entire character in Into the Spider-Verse.
I don't think that scene in the first movie is a problem because of the things that he just said. Yeah. However, if we're running with his logic that he's putting across on Across the Spider-Verse, then you should have a problem with this scene because Peter is doing this while he knows this entire world could be destroyed soon if he doesn't hurry up.
So that scene of him coming off like he doesn't care about people dying does not mean that he actually doesn't. In classic Peter Parker fashion, he's hiding his true feelings behind a quip or a joke or a sarcastic lamentation of what is often an over-exaggerated declaration of the stakes.
Yes, I agree. And it's the same thing for Across the Spider-Verse. It's not like he actually doesn't care. It just looks like you have inconsistent standards.
Which of course, on its own is already weird enough and completely out of character, but then you remember that what caused Miguel to become as radicalized as he is in this film is something Peter was there for. I actually somehow missed this on my first viewing and had to have it pointed out to me, but in the sequence where Miles has shown the footage of a universe collapsing after Miguel tried to slip into it and replace his variant, Peter was there for that. He bore witness to all those people dying while he could only stand there and watch helplessly. So I really don't like this idea that Peter isn't taking any of this seriously. And by the way, I don't think the excuse that he's trying to lighten the
He is, though. Okay.
Mood really works anyway, since he does the same thing later when the spider chase has already begun, shoving his phone in Miguel's face and trying to get him to take a picture of him in Mayday. Peter, the time for that has obviously passed. Are you actually fucking stupid? Also, hang on, does anyone else find it really weird and kind of insensitive that he keeps flaunting all this in front of Miguel, you know, the guy who is the way that he is because he tried to have a family once and lost everything. Again, something Peter fully knows. Like, seriously, dude, I'm happy for you that you rekindled things with your wife and you started that family, but read the fucking room?
No, the context for how Peter is acting
yeah, he's
that
still
I've already
joking. That's the thing, is
explained
that's a
still
part of Peter's
stands.
character.
And him asking Miguel to take the picture of him and Mayday is for the same reason. Just because he didn't lighten the mood earlier, again, doesn't mean he should just stop trying. Is a therapist stupid for trying to get someone to calm down multiple times in a session even though they keep having a tendency to get pissed off or break down an emotion? Is someone in a family stupid or insensitive for sending a picture of their children in a group chat that has another person who has lost their family in it? Or is someone stupid or insensitive for asking someone who lost their family in the past to take a picture of their family? Like, what the fuck is this line of thinking? And I don't know why you keep saying he's not taking any of this seriously. You're literally just fucking lying. Once again, the whole canon event conversation, he is taking seriously. When he talks to Miles during the chase, he is taking that seriously.
I mean, you'd think given where Peter was when we first met him, he'd have the particularly unique ability to understand some of what Miguel's going through and realize this is probably the last thing he wants constantly thrown in his face.
You see, he did before Miles changed his mind.
Bringing your daughter to work with you and letting her crawl around on him while...
There's a difference between Rick. Jason's SIGs are insanely busted right now.
Explaining to Miles that he lost his family is, tone deaf, to put it mildly. Though I suppose maybe it isn't that Peter doesn't care and really is just that he's stupid. The film seems to think so at any rate.
No, it would actually be the opposite, because when Peter was in that state in the first movie, he grew out of it through the help of Miles showing him things can be better, and things can be good even when you're down. Hence, having Peter end up where he is now. Also, what he just said isn't even true, because he claims that Peter is doing this while Miguel is explaining how he lost his family, but Miguel only mentions that minutes later during the canon event conversation. And Peter is taking that whole conversation seriously once again. And you say Peter is stupid for trying to lighten things up and make people happier. Okay.
You want to back me up?
Well, okay, Miguel, as a father of a daughter and the son of a mother...
Yeah, actually, stop talking.
Okay, duly noted.
Oh, I absolutely fucking hate this line. I'm actually getting to a point where I genuinely wonder if the people who wrote this movie are the same ones who wrote the first, because they do not seem to understand this character at all. Peter Parker is not a fucking pushover, as he's depicted several times in this movie, and he's not about to stand back and watch someone else treat
First of all, he's not a pushover.
The people he loves the way Miguel treats Gwen and Miles. I understand that he's in agreement with Miguel's stance on the canon, even though, to be honest, I'm having trouble figuring out if he still feels that way by the end of the movie, given that he went along with Gwen, but, you know, we'll see what they do with that, I guess. I even understand why Peter might agree with Miguel, given what he's witnessed, but that does not mean he's about to let him get away with the kinds of shit Miguel does here. Miles and Gwen are the two characters who mainly influenced Peter into giving it another shot with MJ and putting his life back together. They reminded him of what it means to be Spider-Man and to take a leap of faith when all hope seems lost and the effort seems futile. These two people mean so much to Peter that even if he believes Miguel is right, he should still be standing up for them right now, because that's just the kind of person that he is. But throughout the whole scene, he just stands back and lets Miguel force Gwen into the machine to send her home, and then gets told to fuck off after still wanting to be Team Miguel. I'm baffled. I'm genuinely...
He's trying his best not to piss Miguel or... One, he's trying his best not to piss off Miguel or Miles and Gwen. He's trying his best not to piss off both sides.
Baffled by this.
Peter literally knows how Miguel acts already, and he just saw what Miguel did to Gwen for pushing back against him. Why is it a problem that he's not risking the possibility of him also losing his wristband and not being able to do anything at all? Also, you say he's not trying to stand up for either of them, but he quite literally is. Why do you think he keeps trying to lighten the mood to get Miguel off of Miles' ass? And on the train, he's literally telling Miguel to go easy on him. And this isn't what we talked about. You say that
but every single time, Miles is pissing him off. Miles getting away is pissing him off. That's the problem. The whole entire reason, yes, I'm going to elaborate on this. The whole entire reason is because Peter's trying his best, Peter B is trying his best not to piss Miguel off. And also he's standing up for both Miles and Gwen. But the more Miles gets away from Miguel, it's pissing him off. Well, not Peter, but the more times that Miles is running away from Miguel, it is pissing Miguel off.
Peter B, you know, would put his foot down and start fighting Miguel or some shit, like, listen here, Miguel. But Peter B quite literally doesn't do that at all in the first movie. The only thing even remotely close is when he webs up Miles before going after Kingpin. And that's a completely different context that doesn't even remotely come close. And the reason that he joins Gwen and Miles aside by the end is something that I think SK explains really well in the video that he made about the movie, which I think you should all go watch, but I'm just gonna play a quick segment from that video.
Do you know for certain what happens if he breaks the cannon?
Do you want to find out?
Gwen takes what Miles says into consideration and questions if Miguel's reasons are rational. Miguel gave up on defending his position to Miles and instead opted to imprison him.
Goodbye.
Gwen already felt that was out of line, and her gut was telling her that there was something wrong with what they were doing. Miguel breaks Gwen and Peter's trust by telling Miles that he was the original anomaly, when that goes against what they had talked about.
Miguel, that's enough!
This isn't what we talked about!
It's a show of Miguel's willingness to act dishonestly in favor of his cause, which should raise red flags for those closely aware of this. He isn't fully transparent on what his intentions are, and Miguel also acts in a way that's noticeably more aggressive and forceful than he has ever been seen acting before, which starts to show layers of his character that haven't been seen before, as if his anger towards Miles has caused him to slip and worsen his image in their eyes. This motivates Gwen to question Miguel on his cause, and if he is even as certain as he claims to be. As opposed to giving a direct answer that proves that he is certain without a shadow of a doubt, he starts to walk in a threatening manner towards Gwen, as if he's trying to scare her into agreement rather than relying on actual reason. And to further escalate Gwen's frustration, he tells Jess that he was right at first to see her as a liability.
Tell him he's wrong.
He's not.
Similarly to Miles, Gwen feels betrayed. She knows how it feels. Gwen feels betrayed, as if Jess is going to allow her to be put back in the same desperate place she was before she was let in and given somewhere to belong. From Gwen's perspective, they should know why it'd be wrong to leave her behind, because they knew it was at the time they took her in.
You let him get away? I can't help you.
And what Gwen was afraid of came to pass. She was sent home by force, to be lost and alone, accepted by nobody. She finally understands how it felt for Miles. At that point, she is cemented in her belief that Miguel isn't acting reasonable, and shouldn't have been put in such a high regard as he was.
We are supposed to be the...
One more thing too about this too, before we go into details on this. One more thing too is for the fact that Jessica also sided with Miguel. So
Peter and Jess are noticeably uncomfortable by this. Jess's closest protege has been sent off to suffer alone. Peter feels that his friend has been wrongfully cast off for having rightful feelings of uncertainty for what Miguel is doing. What we thought could have been a working, healthy collaboration turned into a fallout. People are feeling betrayed left and right, left with questions on what the right thing is. Miguel angrily and assertively stands by his positions and...
I know that shouldn't be bringing up Spider-Punk, but Spider-Punk, you saw Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk went, I'm out. I quit. He knew what was about to happen. He was like, alright.
Pursues his hunt for Miles. Gwen is left anxious and lost upon returning to her world. Miles is left scared for who may be after him and for what's going to happen to his family and his neighborhood.
You think I'll be any good?
When needs to have her hair back?
You're asking that now?
Peter goes back home with Mayday to reconsider all of his actions. As a mentor and a friend to Miles.
I don't know, the reason why she still has that is because of the fact that she likes Miles. She didn't really like their style at first, but after she's like, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna keep this because Miles.
Miles, as a hero, and as a father to Mayday. He asks MJ if he'll be any good at being a parent, and MJ reassures Peter that with how unique Mayday will be compared to everyone else, there will never be a strict guide for what the right choices will be in raising her, or being the hero Peter tries to be.
There's no playbook for raising someone like her, or being someone like you.
Peter and MJ are the first ones in their world to raise someone born with what Peter can do, so they can't just go by the commonly set rules by the world for how to raise someone. They'll have to improvise along the way, as if the unexpected will happen.
You just gotta make the right adjustments at halftime.
It's the same as making decisions as a hero like Spider-Man, versus a normal person with common everyday problems. In listening to MJ's advice, he's now questioning his agreement to Miguel's mindset of controlling and strictly abiding by the rules he sets. Peter never went by any kind of strict guide or expectations to teach Miles. Miles' growth came as a product of the unexpected happening. Peter remembered that Miles showed Peter that he can do both, in spite of Peter strictly insisting one of them had to die, and this pushed Peter to want to have Mayday after Miles gave him his second chance.
How do I know I'm not gonna mess it up again?
You won't.
Right. It's a leap of faith.
Peter realized that it gave into fear, just as Miguel did, which he almost did in Into the Spider-Verse. He realizes that MJ is right, that he shouldn't go into parenting or heroism under the mindset that the future is already set in stone.
And this is pretty much the end of what I have
to
respond to with Sheev's video. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if any of you would like to support me on Patreon. I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah.
Alright, W video. That was a W video. That was W video. Alright. Now we get back to me being tortured by this Drekkie. We get back to me being tortured by Drekkie. I gotta make sure that I don't die here. I still remember my strategy. Bruh. That counters 27? Probably should just stuck with Fury Spartan Rage.
Watch out!
Yeah, I should just went with Fury Spartan Rage. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I gotta go with Fury Spartan Rage, or at least something that can give me some more health. Give me a different rage mode. Let me go with something that is not Legacy, even though I really do like the Blade of Olympus stuff. Give me Fury, because I actually do need a better rage mode.
Watch out!
The real game, you're doing that bit. Why? I am so close. Okay. Let me actually really think about this strategy. Because there's been times where I have to have been close, right? Let me actually... In the tail. And then he hits. Alright, hit back. Back up, get some health. I'm gonna farm rage real quick. Get a little bit of health back. Back up. Toss that. Go over here. There we go. No!
That one was tough.
Stay on your guard. There could be others around.
Think that Drekius killed the first one we found?
If so, was their aggression that got them both killed?
Not dying to that again. Whew. No. All right, so after 30 deaths, after 30 deaths, do not give me random obliteration. After 13 deaths. I was so close to pushing 30 deaths, I'm not gonna lie though. That took way too long. Alright, which way do I go? And no, I'm not lowering difficulty. Oh, let me actually make sure it's still on. Yeah, it's still on. Yeah, it's still on.
Down there. I can
Because
see
usually if like a fight's like insanely like weird or something like that, I'll be like,
Tracks
okay,
up
this
on the
seems
left
weird.
there. Might be another train we can take.
Father, what if a war with Odin isn't just tears to fight? What if it's ours too?
War is not the only way.
We're gods. Better gods. We're trying to stop Ragnarok, to help people. And what if the only way to do that is war?
Atreus.
Forge ahead. Unintended, I imagine.
Yeah, 10 people in here. Anybody into the stream? Welcome to the stream. Is there like a box over here? Can't see it yet.
The wretches keep coming from that pillar. Looks like a nest.
There's no way that they survive that.
Looks like we have to get this one back on the tracks. Wow, this thing is small. Okay. we
I
need to go
survived. How far was I pushing? Like 30 deaths? Chat, what's the death counter?
I meant my life. Keep going. Hopefully that's it. We're so close. Just a little to the left. That's way too far. Mimir, tell him left. Hopefully that's it. We're so close. Just a little to the left. Yeah, that's it.
29 was close to being 30.
Round two.
Okay.
Here we go.
The Kraken hatchling gave you a stone.
Kraken. Oh, Diener. Yeah, covered in algae. I was thinking we could show it to Brock and Sindri when we got back. Here. Okay, so, we came here looking for Tyr because we don't trust Odin, right? If you think about it, war could... Uh-oh. On your left! Right!
Dang.
Tell me when!
Atreus, look for a break that's on the train. Could be a lever of some sort.
Found it! The brake's stuck!
Keep trying, little brother.
Father!
Stop this train!
Stop this.
I think it's about to...
No!
Shit!
Alright, so after this, we're gonna stop it right here. I still can't believe that actually happened.
Watch your right.
That was crazy.
You said it, little brother.
We're still counting. I have all the health I can.
Behind you, poison! Behind you, incoming!
Alright, now we're at 30. 31 actually. But I am gonna go ahead and end it here though. I am gonna go ahead and end it here. I do want to go ahead and end it right here, chat. But I am actually cooking a video right now. Cause I already know I gave you like a few ideas, but like that's like a little look into it. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm actually yeah, chat. I will be streaming Summer Game Fest Friday. And I know that I'll be having me and Rift are gonna be having disagreement day. So if anybody has like any disagreement, yeah, y'all can hop onto the call. But other than that, I'm gonna be chilling. I'll drop the video. Hopefully I'm dropping a video tonight. I'm thinking about dropping that video tonight. I'm gonna be cooking that video for like a while. But I'll see you guys then. Peace out.